watching, and welcome to the stream. Not sure if my anything is going bad, but we'll see how it goes. Hold on a second, let me just kind of post this on Twitter. So unprofessional. Alright. Get that out of here. Alright, let's just go ahead and... We're fairly close to finishing this. We just need to ink these two, the front and the profile, and then we'll be finished. Well, I guess we can color it. Hopefully nobody can see my phone. everybody in the universe has been, well, has been sort of notified, we can kind of get started. Sorry about that. Let's try and get this inked and colored as fast as possible. That's a bad 0.5 millimeter pen that exploded because I used it so much. I don't know why I still have it, but I do. Alright. So, since last time, we've sort of kept up with, we got the right side done, which is the majority of the work, honestly. By the way, everybody, happy Turkey Day. If you don't like turkey, that's fine. I'm not judging you, but one day you will see the way. So, so, um, today I'm going to also be talking about developing your own style. Some things that have sort of helped me out over the years. Um, my top tip above everything is to sort of love the way you draw. No matter how bad you think it is, no matter how much you just don't like it, it's the way that you draw. And don't worry, you'll develop the motor skills. You'll become better at it. All you need is time, and that's really what you're doing. You are sort of giving yourself time to develop, and that is what you need. Um, the best way to become good at anything is to run against the wall. Run against the wall that you see yourself running into, until one day you burst through it, and then you find yourself at another wall forever. Now, you're probably listening to this and think, "Oh my God, this guy's crazy," but it's very true. A lot of the times, I mean, you can go to art school for years and years and years and years, but I mean, if you don't love art, then why are you going to school for it? So that's sort of one of my main points is to love drawing. You gotta love it first. If you don't like doing it, then it's sort of just something that you're doing for fun. Now, mind you, there are games built around drawing, but the main thing that you have to look out for is that you gotta love it. Also, another thing is that you don't always have to be correct whenever you're making anything. Being correct is nice and everything. You know, having great proportions, having uh, having your characters look freaking phenomenal, and you know, wear all the nice things. But if you didn't look like you enjoyed the experience, then really, what were you doing? You were practicing your motor skills, you know, but you hated doing it. You suffered through it, which will make you better. But I mean, it's more likely that we'll see you fail before you get anywhere quickly. That is. So don't worry about proportions. Don't worry about uh, what materials you should use. First of all, you should have fun, because that is what art is. It's fun. I mean, I like doing it. Um, Another thing about art that we should all really, take into consideration is that art is a skill. It is a practice. It is something that you develop over time. Your own way of doing things is not going to be necessarily the quote unquote right things to do. But it's, your own way. And that's what's important, is that you are taking the time to find yourself. Um, the reason why a lot of artists become great artists is because they took a lot of time to practice. They draw a lot. And by doing so, they sort of, you know, find materials that they like to use. They find a lot of things, a lot of little details that they like to put on their characters that people seem to really enjoy. So they keep doing it. So what I'm asking you is to take the time to find your way. Now you can do all the lessons that you want. You can do all of those things. I'm probably repeating myself a lot, but that is how I quote unquote got good at drawing, or became very considerable at it. It is because I try and try and try. And sure, there are times when I feel like I wanted to give up, but I didn't. But you can't give up, no matter how people may look at your art and be like, man, that proportion over there, it looks really stupid. Or, I hate the way that character looks. Their hair is like on fire. Why do you draw? But at the end of the day, you made something you wanted to see, and then you showed it to everyone else. So that is what matters. At the end of the day, you made something you liked. Whether it was a homework assignment, or it's something like this, where honestly, I don't like making reference work. Um, it's something I've wanted to do for a very long time that I should have done, but I kept putting it off because I have other things to do. Um, but now that I'm doing it, I have stuff sort of, put on paper. I'm organizing myself finally. I mean, after years of being like, nah, man, I'm just not going to do that reference work thing that I should probably be doing, even though I have nothing to draw. Um, it's not about technique and stuff like that, because you'll find that on your own, purely just by drawing. But um, and another thing that you have to kind of remember, especially trying to draw, well, anything, is that a lot of things sort of come with time. And art especially is is definitely one of those things. Like a year ago, I I think as an artist I am a lot stronger now than I ever was a year ago. Even though I made some pretty nice stuff last year, at least I think. This year, I have definitely improved. And that is all you can do. Keep moving forward with your work. Improve yourself in little ways. And the rest will come. And there's certainly something that I hear a lot, especially as a as I'm going to call myself budding artist for years, until I'm like 50 years old. And that is, um, a lot of the time you will look at your own work and you'll be disgusted at it because you will see more successful artists out there who've taken the time to figure out, their own way of doing things. And um, all you need to do is to invest that time. And I must be repeating myself. Um, One of the few things I've noticed um, now that I've made comics is that kind of see things um, like, let's say that you're drawing, like, I've drawn this character many, many times before. No references or anything. I kind of took them out from my head and put them onto a sheet of paper. Now, a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people have trouble. Um, Pulling anything from their imagination. And I want to tell you that it is okay to reference things. It is perfectly fine. I mean, I use references all the time. Um, don't think that because this person draws from their imagination a lot, that it makes you any less of an artist. Because, you know, like I said before, you're trying to develop motor skills, really. You're trying to develop your own way of doing things. And that person probably has drawn many things, so they're very well versed in a lot of drawing techniques and stuff like that. And so they can kind of be like, okay, well, if that person wants me to draw a cloud, so bam, they draw a cloud, because they've drawn them so many times before. Alright, cool. I know this is going to be weird, but I put this title here in pencil, like a dummy. Okay. ink didn't dry yet, and I started erasing. So now ink kind of smeared. It kind of sucks, but it's okay. We'll live with it. So another thing that I've noticed is, especially over the years, is that I hear a lot of, "I wish I could draw," and you know, whenever I was younger, I'm certainly a culprit of saying this. Is I wish I could draw like them. Instead of wanting to draw like myself, my own way of doing things. Right, let's go ahead and start coloring, my favorite part. Um, let's see. Okay, no, can't find it. Rip. Alright. Um, a lot of the times, I said this as I was young, because I was younger, and I saw a lot of great artists out there who already knew what they were doing, and I was like, man, I wish I knew that. I wish I could see like them, you know. Um, it is by no means, I don't think there is any sort of set way about doing anything. Um, for example, um, the way I draw probably appalls you. The way I color probably appalls you right now because I'm sort of rushing this. I mean, it's 1 in the morning and I'm pretty tired. Um, but I'm gonna try and just get the colors down. I'm not gonna do too much wave shading. The the one thing I mean, I love hearing it because it makes me feel good that, oh man, my art really stands out to this person. But I sort of want to just say to them, you should figure out how to draw like you can. Because I know everybody can draw. It's very easy. You just pick up a pencil, a piece of paper, and just start scribbling. Technically, you're drawing. I mean, it's not like you haven't spent much time on working on a style or a way of doing things, but you're drawing, and that's how a lot of people sort of start, is by just picking up a pencil. Uh, like doodling in class. I mean, I was notorious for that when I was younger. I would be there was a lesson going on, and I just did not care. And so I just started doodling in my notebook. And then, as I got older, I kept doing this and doing this and doing this, and I was like, man, this looks kind of good. And that's the first hurdle. It's just to keep on keeping on. Sorry if I spend too much time looking for my supplies. usually when I get home, I just want to start drawing, so my supplies and stuff like that are very all over the place. I'm a lefty, so everything, of course, is on my left. Um, a lot of the times, for drawing anything really, is that we really want to just get it on the paper. You know, that's great. That's awesome. I want everyone I know to draw anything. And that's usually how people sort of start, is by drawing whatever they want. But, you know, when you really feel comfortable, like when you really start feeling like, uh, feeling yourself become more and more comfortable, you know, doodling in class, you start drawing. Um, I want everybody to take some time, maybe not today or tomorrow or any other day, but I would like everybody to sort of, look at things differently. You know, try not to look at things the same all the time, because you know, whenever you look at an artist's piece, you sort of think to yourself, man, I wish I could draw like that. Man, I wish that a lot of things, like I wish my hand worked like theirs. I want to trade hands with them, which is kind of weird, but actually it's not. I'm just kidding. But you get what I'm saying. It's it's like you want to work like them because you really like what they do. Now that's okay. I'm not saying it's not, but I'd like you to take a second to kind of step back, because that's what a lot of artists do whenever they kind of look at their own work. Is they kind of step back and they look at it in a different way. They kind of look at it like we do. Like, man, I wish I could draw like that guy. And they kind of look at it and they're like, how did that person end up with that result on their paper? How did that person, you know, get that sort of effect? Like, what did they do? And by asking those questions, you start getting more curious. And as you become more and more curious, you sort of, that's where it really starts rolling, because, you know, doing the same thing every time, it's gonna get real boring. So, my one of the things I like to do every so often is to kind of do a landscape piece, you know, work on some backgrounds, try and draw in a different style, try somebody else's style, color something in a different way, draw with your other hand even. Just challenge yourself in little ways and see things differently a little bit at a time. Because if you try too much, you might overwhelm yourself and you'll be like, man, I'm just not good at this. So that is my advice to you, viewers. As we sort of haphazardly color this in. Um, the Actually, though, the way that I started drawing whenever I was younger, it started with my older sister, and she drew slightly better than I did, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So I was like, ah, man, I wish that I could draw like her. So then I just tore apart what she could do, very quickly. Um, and I was like, dude, if I could just figure out how she draws and I become better. Because for me, whenever I was younger, it was about the competition, about being even better than my sister in some kind of way. Um, so I just sort of kept drawing after that. You know, after I had quote unquote surpassed her. You know, I think my sister sort of blames me to this day for um, squashing her want of drawing, um, which kind of sucks, I guess. I didn't mean to. I was just like, oh god, I don't want to be worse at drawing than my sister, my silly, stinky older sister. I'm just kidding, my sister's awesome. But um, that's what I was like when I was younger. I was like, dude, I just want to draw better. So I did. Um, well, this is sort of a pale. This is a mauve color. Let's add it to her girl lips. I see that a lot in this sort of thing. We sort of see just the one lip colored. I guess in this side view we can kind of see that she does indeed have another lip. But at least that's what I saw whenever I was younger, watching Pokemon, if anyone remembers that show. Um, Alright. Now, talking about shading here really quick. A lot of shading comes with just adding layers. Put down a little color here, a little color there. And then you take your lightest color and just kind of go over it. Or you can be like me and you're just like, man, I just want to cheat and use a colorless colored pencil. And sort of, it works like the Tortillion does if you've ever used those, but since Barden's hair is pink, a lot of the shading work is, you know, just going slowly toward red. You can kind of see that her hair, whenever it's, you know, in the darkest points, you know, she's got a bit of red in there. And a lot of the times where you put your darkest point, you know, your darkest bit, sort of can confuse the eye into thinking that hair or something has a lot of volume to it. So you can really like make somebody think that your character has curly hair when it looks a lot like this, you know, just like a few lines here and there. Very minimalist approach. At least that's how I draw hair, or I like to. A very minimalist approach. I don't like to I don't like to do too much with it. At least that's how I like to do it. Now there are a lot of artists out there who like just take the hair and just like, man, I'm just gonna make this hair look like waves. It's gonna go cascading over mountains. It's just, oh god, there's so much hair. No, I love hair, mind you. Long hair, oh, it's gorgeous. But when I have to kind of I'm gonna kind of hurry here because my hands are really hurting. I have a lot to do. So I'm gonna kind of move along very quickly. Now, the reason why my hands kind of hurt is because I handle a lot of material in the place that I work at. In this region right here, it just gets a lot of pressure on it. It's nothing to call your hospitals over, but it just, it hurts just a bit. It's not really complaining, just sort of finding stuff to talk about while I'm drawing here. Well, coloring rather. Believe it or not, coloring, at least to me, has been always about shades. You want something to look darker, you add a color. At least from what I see, let's see. You know what? Since this side over here, since the light is sort of hitting right here, this side over here is going to be darker. Your hair have that kind of redishness. Sort of lost track of what I was talking about. Now, I'm not the expert on anything. And I'll say that until I become really old. Because hopefully by that time, I'm still alive, but hopefully I sort of learn and become more comfortable in my sort of way of doing things. Because that's all that really, above all else, correctness as far as lines go and everything like that. Proportions. That all, if you just strictly work at it, obviously you'll get better. But over time, you sort of see, like your eyes will open and you'll be like, man, that's not right. You'll draw something a little different. You'll make a change here and a change there. Before you know it, you become real comfortable and you just hammer out drawings like nobody's business. Sorry, I'm a little tired. Now, one thing I have never done in my life as a human is go out to a landscape and draw it right then and there. Just like plant myself, bam, and just like recreate what I see. I've never taken the time to do that. It's probably a terrible thing to say because so many artists have done it. They sort of sat down and just work. Um, Unfortunately, my schedule does not agree with me to do that right now. I mean, obviously, I could take the time and just drive out somewhere. You know, for me right now, things are a little shaky. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I've never done it. I've always seen pictures and looked at my friends' pictures and be like, man, I want to draw that. But I have never taken the time to do that. And it's one of the things I really want to do is just sit down and just draw. Well, a lot like I'm doing now, but not draw to tell a story, not draw to bring a, draw at a restaurant so people, and have people just kind of stare over me like, they're like, whoa, you can draw? It's amazing. Like, just to kind of enjoy myself and have time to myself and just draw. Not saying that, onlookers, whenever I'm working, is a bad thing. It's just, a lot of the times I'm sort of there just enjoying myself. I don't mind the attention so much. It's just sort of things I've noticed over the years. Alright. Um, my hand's really hurting. I may call it quits here in a minute. But the main thing to do whenever you're sort of working and doing any sort of thing is to keep at it. And if everybody here just sort of glosses over things that I have to say, which I don't mind. You listen to what you want to listen to. Actually, let's make it gray, like a cool gray, and just kind of go over the entire thing. Make it look sort of metallic. The parts that are metallic. Um, Sort of texture. And for the armor, I'm just gonna, put the basic colors down, just to kind of show that, it is indeed armor. This is just a reference piece for me. Um, I mean, you can use it as well if you really want to draw any one of my characters. I do not mind. Um, However, just be like, hey, I'm going to draw this character, and I'm gonna be like, all right, uh, show me what you do, because it's always exciting whenever someone's like, I'm gonna draw your character. I mean, at least I think it's exciting. I can't remember if this is the color that I used last time, but it was not awkward. Um, Now the sort of color that Arden's breastplate and everything has, it's blue. I don't know, I probably should stay away from the color blue, especially since Arden's eyes are blue with a bit of purple in them. Um, you know, sort of makes them stand out. But, you know, I like having her with blue pollen, like these bluish purple pollens. With bluish purple pollens. Say that 9 times fast. Bluish purple pollen, bluish purple pollen, Um, but, I don't know, I've always liked the color purple. I've always enjoyed it. You know, she's going to have a sort of purplish blue breastplate. Now the neck guards here are going to be just plain old gray. You know, this is a very quote unquote safe color scheme. Nothing to really write home about. Now she's going to have a sort of, I'm gonna add some gray here, because, you know, we can't really see her pants. They're very blue. She's a very, I guess you could say she's a very blue character, but blue and purple. And her boots, they were made for walking. And that's just what she'll do. And if you're not careful, she's going to walk all over you. Now, you can make the arm guards whatever color you wish, but I'm going to keep up with the theme and just have them be blue. If anyone's seen Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant, I saw that, like, bits and pieces here and there. And, you know, the design for Lieutenant, at least her color scheme, like for her eyes and her hair, looks a lot like Arden's. And when I saw that, I was like, oh man, I hope nobody thinks I stole that, because I haven't seen that until this year. So, I'm not saying that, you know, Head Lieutenant is a bad thing, but it would be kind of funny, I guess, if people were like, oh dude, you stole Lieutenant's design. And then they would just like flag anytime Arden would appear, they would sort of flag it and like remove her. Actually, don't do that. That would be very sad if you do that. I do kind of want to incorporate a bit of red here, but I don't think I'll be able to. I have different kinds of blue in there, but let's just make this more blue. Now, her sword, since Solstice, it is also blue. Her her whole design is very, very blue. The blade itself sort of goes into a gradient purple. To a very, let's just use red here. So right about here is when the blade becomes quote unquote purple. Because, you know, this is the business end of the sword. And anybody who is slashed or anything is usually or stabbed. It's right around this area. So we're just gonna do it very lightly. This kind of ugly, kind of a weird, ugly looking color. Adding that down here. A blade's sort of been stained over the years fighting. You can definitely tell from the business end does its job. It's still a holy blade, but you know, the act of killing is not is unholy. Now the flames are going to be very, very sort of gentle, sort of to insinuate that it's very hot in the glue flame. And you know, it is a very cool flame when you put your hand over it. If you get slashed, you light up like a match. Okay, so this is kind of the general idea of Arden's color scheme and what she looks like in battle. I didn't put it here. I think I should kind of pen it out. Where's the pen? So, right around here, right around there is her scabbard. And for anyone who does not know what a scabbard is, it basically is a place where you can sheath your sword. It's very useful, I guess, if you're a swordsman. God, I'm not calling anyone dumb, it's just trying to explain it to people who don't know. I hope anyone who's watched this so far has enjoyed the stream. Unfortunately, this is all the time that I have because tomorrow, or technically today, is Turkey Day. So, for anyone watching, thank you. I hope you have a good Turkey Day. Eat all the turkey. Don't leave any scraps behind for any scavengers. And if you eat ham, I do not judge you, except I currently am. So leave ham for your enemies, eat turkey for yourself. Alright, thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you in another stream real soon.